Hey, welcome everyone to Cortinex. I am Arjo with you all. Today our goal is to solve the longest consecutive sequence problem from LeetCode, which is typically the medium level problem on LeetCode. I'll try to maintain this exact situation like interviews and try to solve this one. Okay, let's start. So here is the problem. Given an unsorted array of integers num, return the length of the longest consecutive element sequence. You must write an algorithm that runs in O(n) time complexity. Okay, what we can understand from this question that will be given one integer array and the array will contain the integer numbers. We have to return the longest consecutive sequence of element, not the elements but the sequence, and the program must run on the O(n) time complexity. If I talk about brute force solutions, then we have two approaches. Like one, we can sort this entire array and then try to find out the longest consecutive sequence. For that, our time complexity will go to n log n, and that is not something we want. That is not the optimized approach. Okay, the second one we can go with, that can be like for every element we can search for every element num. We can check for num plus 1 plus 2 plus 3, like this for n elements, and try to find out and try to track the longest consecutive sequence with one variable. Try to track the longest consecutive sequence with the longest variable. So if I go with this approach, then our time complexity will become n square, O(n) square, and that is not something we want, right? So we have to find out the most optimized one. So we have to do this in other way. So let's find out. Let's try to find out that optimized approach. If I take the solution, the example that is given here, if I take this example which was given here, then we can see that in this unsorted array the sequence doesn't matter. And another thing we have to take note, that elements may repeat. What are the edge cases? If I talk about the edge cases here, then at first we have to think that the array may be empty, can be empty array. So array, just empty array. Second edge case, elements may repeat. We have to keep track that elements may repeat, so we have to track of that also. Elements may repeat. I guess these are the edge cases here with this problem. Okay, then what you can do, if I try to find out the starting element at first, and then from those starting elements if I try to find out if there are any higher order elements from that starting element, like if I find num, which are the starting elements, then I'll try to find the num plus 1 elements and try to track individually of them for the longest consecutive sequence. And if I go with that approach, then ultimately what will happen, I will not loop twice or check twice one single element, and that will can give me the ON time complexity. What I'm saying is, like, if I check num minus 1 in array, then I'll come up with yes or no. If yes, then I'll try to find num plus 1. If num plus 1, yes, no, track. This is going to be my approach. Like, I'll check for the starting elements, num minus 1. If I go with this example, then the starting elements will be 100, 200 and 1, because there is not n minus 1 is 1 minus, so there is no 0, there is not 99, and there is no 199. It's 100, 200 and 1. And if I check that n plus 1 is there or not, 100 plus 1, 101 is not there, 200 plus 1 is not there, but 1 plus 1, 2 is there, 2 plus 1, 3 is there, 3 plus 1, 4 is there. So we got our sequence, that is this. This is the longest consecutive sequence, and our longest will be here 4. So this is our approach. This is going to be our approach. Let's code this out. Okay, so let's start our coding part. I'll do this on Google Docs to maintain the professional environment, interview level condition. So let's start our coding part. For that, I'll start with the first edge case, that if we get one empty string. If I get one empty string, then I will definitely return 0. Returns 0 for that. Okay, now I'll convert the whole array into one set, because it's easy to find and check elements in set rather than in array. And also I have to deal with the duplicate iterations for elements thing. Okay, for that num set so nums. Okay, now I'll try to find out the initials from the array, initial elements. For that, for num in num set, sorry, it will be num not in num set, because we have to try to finding the initials. Current num is equal to we'll increase the length by 1 and track this element as current num, because we have to find out the next element. If we have to check that is the next element is present in the array or not. For that, we'll taking the current num and we'll check current num plus 1, current num plus 2 like this in the array set. So that while current num plus 1 in set, if it is present, then we'll increase the value of current num by 1. Current num plus cos to track the next element, it is present or not, and increase the length by 1. Cool. Now we'll return the longest. It's 2. Next longest. Okay, cool. This is our code. This is our whole code, and it will perfectly work on this because it is working on the time complexity of linear time complexity, ON, not O n log n, not that O n square. This is the ON time complexity problem, and the space complexity is also ON. And we are not checking one element twice, and we are not storing extra things in our system. It's completely fine with this approach. And if I am making one playlist with 300 videos about LeetCode problems. I'll try to upload daily basis, not daily, weekly one video on this channel. If you want to stay tuned and active with all this LeetCode problem solution, then subscribe my channel, and thanks for watching Code Next. Thank you everyone.